Rudy from DMH International. Greetings to all. Well, today we're going to have a presentation regarding managing SolidWorks data with Teamcenter. And the presentation is going to be broken down into two sections. This presentation is going to be more, the first half, shall we say, is going to be an interactive half. And what I would like to do is just ask permission, is it okay to ask a few questions? And the reason why I want to ask these questions, it will allow us to identify the top 3 issues that we all have or have had so that we can address it when Tim Banks provides the overview of the presentation. So I hope that's okay, and I do hope that we can get permission. So with that in mind, we're going to begin to cruise into the presentation. Now, DMH International is a platinum Siemens PLM reseller. Now, while we are a platinum PLM reseller for Siemens, we also are the NXCAM reseller of the year, and we're pretty proud of that distinction, and we're moving into our consecutive year for that as well this year. Now, in addition, our staff we have the premier post developers in the country. So we really understand post development. Now, with that being said, DMH is divided into 4 quadrants. The first quadrant there is software. And under software, we have the Siemens PLM suite, which consists of NX and NX CAD and finite analysis and our Teamcenter suite. Down below there, we have Katona, which is a 3D software which provides reliable and highly interactive viewers for viewing 3D and 2D content on various platforms. And the main platform right now is the iPad or mobile devices, but it can work on other platforms as well. Directly under that, we have Vericut. Vericut is a software that is used to simulate CNC machining in order to detect errors, potential collisions, and also it identifies inefficiencies. Now, Vericut serves many other purposes, and another purpose is also enable NC programmers to correct errors before the program is ever loaded onto the CNC machine. And this will eliminate manual prove-outs. And finally, Vericut optimizes NC programming Vericut optimizes the NC programs, and it cuts speed for make your machining more efficient. Now, as we move down, we have another product that separates us. This is VolumeMill. VolumeMill is a revolutionary toolpath strategy that enables you to cut much faster and deeper than with typical toolpath strategies. Now, one of the features of VolumeMill, it avoids sharp directional changes while controlling the rate of material removal, which will significantly extend the toolpath, and I'm sure that's important to all of us. And following underneath there, we have KeyShot, which is a 3D rendering and animation software, and that product suite is from Autodesk. So those are the software under the DMH signature. These are our software products. Directly under that is training. We have, that is DMH, a total PM portfolio for providing training. So in addition to that, we have a mobile classroom where we can deploy our classroom with a certified instructor, not only an instructor who has who knows the software, but who uses the software in production. So when we go on site to provide training, we have special insights to help students overcome things that's important to their particular needs. Now, one of the great features of DMH is our support. Our support staff, especially the first line of defense, is just second to none. And we work directly with DTAC. And you also have the ability to have a DMH 800 number to call us directly as well. And directly underneath the support staff is our mentoring. I spoke a little bit about this in the training, but our staff is highly trained individuals, again, who work in the industry. So when we go on site to help or assist companies with challenges, we have seen these challenges or have documented these challenges and able to be very flexible and adaptable to making these changes. And finally, one of our favorite aspects is we have a collection of young engineers who are in college or getting ready to graduate from college, and they take on special projects and do research and development for all different sectors of our portfolio. For example, we have engineers who do work under the area of trying to determine or identifying shortcomings in a particular process. Our Dream Team engineers understand how to do the research and submit a report to the management of the firms that they're working for to give them real-time information on how to avoid or correct any kind of corrective actions that they need. So as we go on to the next screen, that again is a high-level overview of what DMH does. As we move to the next screen, these are the industries that we are most noted for, and that is the Siemens suite and the DMH company. The aerospace from Boeing, from Lockheed Martin to Northrop Grumman and to the Tier 1s and Tier 2s are using the Siemens portfolio to get their work done and get their work done to the market as fast as possible. The automotive industry, from GM, from Chrysler, are also big users of our NX suite of products and services as well. The electronic community, well, can't say a lot of these names, but from Apple to Bose and the Sonos are also using our software to get their product to the market fast as well. And the machines, which we really have a big footprint in, companies like Caterpillar, they use our products as well to manufacture their machines. And finally, medical. So those are the industries that we have a footprint in and that we're making significant headway in. So now, within those areas, we have 4 distinct quadrants, and these quadrants consist of Teamcenter on the cloud, which we can design anywhere and build an infrastructure to pass data along from suppliers to customers and even internally so that we can make sure that we're not working on a document that's not approved or released, so we have real-time management of our documents. So the Teamcenter Cloud is an excellent tool that we use to manage data. Within that, again, we have our Mobile Technology Center, which we spoke about in the training, which we can deploy equipment, which is state-of-the-art, to provide training anywhere in the country. Down directly below that are technology partners. Our technology partners are just very, very important to us. First of all, we have Mazak and Sandvik and DMG and many others, along with Siemens and Microsoft. And all of these partners enable us to have a farther reach and expand our grasp and bring more resources to the table. This is another reason why DMH is a platinum reseller for Siemens, and our core competency is so strong. One of the things that DMH is really proud of is reaching out as a bridge to connect suppliers with the original equipment manufacturers. This is the heart of what DMH does. For example, we have a relationship with Northrop and Boeing and Caterpillar where they're trying to communicate or push down instructions to their suppliers, and it could get there in time, these messages, or they could not get there in time, or their suppliers may need help or assistance in certain areas. Well, Northrop and Boeing and Caterpillar will rely on our staff to get down to that level to help communicate exactly what needs to be done so we can keep communications and process flowing consistently throughout the supply chain. So we're very proud of what we're doing and developing in the supply chain program. And finally, we have a vast industry knowledge. as I indicated earlier, we're really proud of the staff that we have. Our staff consists of individuals who not only understand the product, but who use the product in real production. So that includes the 4 different quadrants in what separates us from other resellers. So now at this stage, I've given you a quick overview of what has the ability to manage revisions and control these revisions. So it's sort of like a library where you can go in and you can check out a revision, and you can only select the approved and latest release of the 3D model. And that gives us control. So, and it also has the ability to have a rendering tool so they can mark up and make proposed changes to it, and then send that back to you or back to the approval process. So there could be 6 or 7 different people in the approval process, and a document will go to them in a sequential form or all at one time. So we do, and we can't address that, and perhaps later Mr. Banks will address that concern about managing and working with only approved and released 3D models. Now, I would like to go on and say this. Typically, when we talk to SolidWorks users, people like yourself, they tell us that things are going well, and I know you guys probably want to tell me some more, but occasionally they are experiencing difficulties with the following. What we're finding out that is integrating SolidWorks files with all of your technical data, to provide a single source of product data that supports your complete design through the entire manufacturing process. That is a major challenge that smaller companies are facing, and even some larger companies. It's just integrating SolidWorks data throughout the whole manufacturing process. Secondly, we found that a lot of companies spend a lot of time finding the correct version of the SolidWorks data. And that's something that Paul brought up earlier, and we appreciate that, Paul. And we're going to address that. Mr. Banks is going to address that in the overview. And thirdly, improve collaborations with the organization and community and customers and suppliers. What we're finding now is that you can be on a particular release and you cannot get all the contents of the file that's being IGES over, so you're working with half files, assuming that you have all the files, and then you make your change and you send it back and you miss a large section. So we can eliminate that and can control that by using Teamcenter to managing your SolidWorks data. Now, one of the biggest advantages that you have by using Teamcenter is faster product change and approval process, resulting in decreased time to the market. We need to get our products and services to the market, and we need to be cranking out parts. So many times our processes are not in line with the way that we do business. Teamcenter will be a guide to direct us on how we can do business, because you can tailor Teamcenter to how you do business. And again, our staff are trained to understand the way that you do business and how you want to do business, so we can customize Teamcenter for the way that you need to do business in the future. Okay. So if we had to just pick a few of these, just so we can help Tim give us a more direct presentation, if we had to pick a few of these major points or points, what would be, again, some of the biggest challenges that you're faced in managing your SolidWorks data? And again, since we didn't need feedback, we're going to just imagine those major four we talk about, integrating SolidWorks data within your whole technical arena and driving it through from design through manufacturing. And also we're going to say that spending less time finding correct versions is very important as well. And communicating and collaborating with original equipment manufacturers, suppliers is very important as well. And finally, fast product changes. We want to be able to create product changes quick and receive instructions quickly so that we can be more agile and more flexible, and we can decrease the time to market. Now, and at this stage, since it's difficult to get any feedback from the audience, I wanted to ask a few more questions, but it's kind of difficult. So what I'm going to do now is just hand off to Tim Banks. And Tim, please keep in mind when you give us a high-level overview, and that's what Tim is going to do, is going to give us a high-level overview. Could you please just put a little emphasis on integrating SolidWorks data in the manufacturing process and how we can make sure we're working on the correct revision and improving collaboration and decreasing time to market. And Tim, I do thank you very much for hammering home the points that we made today. And if you don't mind, taking it away, please.
You got it, Ken. Thank you. And again, that is kind of the main point of everything in CAD and Teamcenter. Is the basic goal is to save time to market, make things take less time, be more efficient, and in the end, save some money and make some money. So first off, I'm just going to reiterate what he said earlier about the cloud. Currently at DMH, we have Teamcenter on the cloud, so we can pull up Teamcenter on our iPads. We have Surface Pros, little tablets, as well as our computers. And the great part about that is it's a Microsoft Azure service, so we don't have to use our own server, and we don't have to keep the upkeep and maintenance on it. That's all done through Microsoft, so they do all of the IT work, and we basically just set the system up, which some of our people can do, and they can do for anybody as mentoring, as well as it's a pay-as-you-go, so you can stop at any time, and then it's pretty revolutionary, and it's pretty helpful compared to just having it on your own server and having to deal with if anything goes wrong and issues. You have to figure that out. That's usually not an issue with Teamcenter on the cloud. And here's a little overview of what we're going to talk about with Teamcenter. First, I'm just going to talk about what Teamcenter is real quick, go through it, and then I will talk about Teamcenter being integrated with SolidWorks through SWIM. You can either do it, integrate Teamcenter just straight through Teamcenter, or there is an add-on to SolidWorks that you can use. Here's a quick overview of Teamcenter. It's document management capabilities, and it's basically a product lifecycle management tool. So you can check in, check out parts. You can have your parts there, Word documents, bill of materials, anything you need associated with any CAD documents you can use. And also it's used for even non-CAD tools. Like I know Home Depot and other companies don't even use it for CAD. They just use it for just straight keeping their data in line with the checkout, check-in tools. And again, it allows people to store, retrieve, and access information. And then all authors, they can either see it's split up between different groups. So if you have an engineer, he can't see what the accountants are looking at, and then the accountants, they can see certain amounts of things. So they can look at all the numbers, and then all the engineers, they can be the ones looking at all the parts, bill of materials, everything they need to look at, but not all the money stuff that they don't need to worry about. And here's just a list of all the companies currently using Teamcenter and other Siemens products. As you can see, you can look around. There are plenty to go around. Different industry, if you want to take a look at, anywhere from, Boeing and all the aerospace companies over to John Deere, and then just consumer products. So Lego, Johnson & Johnson, all Dick's Sporting Goods. It goes across the entire board of different companies. And there are two aspects to the comprehensiveness of Teamcenter. The first can be represented as a time cycle. So as you develop products, there's different stages that they go through. You have to plan it, then develop, then manufacture and support, as you can see on this circle here. And each phase matures your product from idea to consumer disposal. And we like to think of Lifecycle as circular because you learn from your customers, the market, and your own experience in making the next production run of the product or the next generation of your product, provided that you have the knowledge from your customers that you get and try to make it better. And that foundation provides you with basic capabilities across the life cycle with all these characteristics shown here. So using all these together, we can get the best product with the best, quickest time to market and save money in the process. And the next aspect of comprehensiveness is the breadth of the type of knowledge that can and must be captured. So management-related data, and they're all retrieved through PLM, the PLM Foundation. The Teamcenter offers the most extensive data model for managing product knowledge, covering all the requirements, engineering and manufacturing, everything you need. Product definition, so any CAD, CAM path you need to take, and simulation, anything from electronics that you need and different software, and it's all covered over the PLM software. And it presents its data with advanced visualization and context management, and it reduces the time to understand the product and the task, which again goes back to time of market, trying to save money, save time. Plus, with its business modeler integrated development environment, and you can open the framework, the PLM system can easily be extended. And then so it's not just about checking in and checking out CAD like you might currently be using, just a file folder system, just, oh, I'll check out this part, then put it back. You get all the information that goes with it. You can see Word documents that go with it, any pictures you need, the cost of it, bill of materials, drawings, Excel documents. It does it all with Teamcenter. And here's an example of revisions, looking at different Corvettes from year to year to year. So you need to think of the revision as everything you need is inside. That you can see on the right side, it says Corvette 1953 sports car. That revision, everything you need is inside that item. And that's just your one source of information that you need. And you can just keep making reiterations of it. So instead of starting from scratch, make a brand new Corvette every year, you can take what you need and just revise it from year to year, or in your case, with the parts you're working on, week to week, day to day, whatever it may be. And what's also great with Teamcenter is the user-specific information. So like I said earlier, you can have different roles for people, so engineer, designer, manufacturing, management. And it offers not only the most extensive data model for managing product knowledge as well, but it also the accountants, they can use it for what they need. It presents the data with advanced visualization and context management to reduce the time to understand the product and task at hand again. And so you can see on the left side, on the right side, excuse me, you can see it has the cost in it again, and the flag means it's good to go. That means it was approved, the checker flag. So you can see from the start of the project all the way through to the end, when it finally gets approved to go to market of the machines, you can see that everything with it goes through Teamcenter. And here's another aspect of it. You can use, it does the best visualization, so without even pulling up the part in SolidWorks or whatever CAD system you are using, you can just visualize it straight into Teamcenter, either in 2D or 3D. And you can see the entire workflow that goes through, so you can see where it is in the approval process. So if you make your design, if it has to go through the accountants first and then your manager, it shows where it is in that process. As well as with a bill of materials, you can change certain parts. And you think of it as a linked bill of materials. If I need this, I need that, I need 2 of those, 3 of these, you can see all that in the Teamcenter window. And here we're getting to more what we're looking for, the SolidWorks. As you can see, Teamcenter works with all different types of CAD softwares. So it's CAD neutral, it works with anything. So of course we're a Siemens reseller, so we use it with NX. But if you're using any of the following, CATIA, Pro-E, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, any of the above, it'll work with that as well. And we'll get to the demonstration at the very end, and then now we're going to talk about using Teamcenter with SolidWorks together with something called SolidWorks Integration Manager, other known as SWIM, and I'll be calling it that the rest of the time. So on this half, we're going to go over what SWIM is, and then you can either use SWIM or Teamcenter. You can use either, but they come together, so you can use either, then the basic concepts of each, and then a short video of it inside the SolidWorks platform. So first off, what is SWIM? So Teamcenter is something that you need to use, but what value does it have to you as a SolidWorks user? As a SolidWorks user, you're an author, and you create all the info you need for your product. And Teamcenter is a product lifecycle management system. So when you create the data, you put it, right now you might put it in a PDM system or just put it in a bunch of folders on a server and just kind of bring it out and put it back in when you're done. It works, but it's not the most efficient. Things might get lost in the way, or if two people pull the same part out at the same time, things can get a little messy. And then with Teamcenter, it has a vault where you can store all the information associated with it, and then that gives you access to all the people who have different privileges, like you see on the right, so they can see only the parts that they need to. And then together with SWIM, it makes your life easier as a SolidWorks user, and it provides you the information to the rest of the organization, as you see on the right, while keeping all the good data you need, all the integrity you need as an author and designer throughout the whole process, keeping it consistent. So SWIM, as I said, SWIM and Teamcenter work together. SWIM is an add-in into SolidWorks, so you don't go to another program. You can pull up. It's like pull up a window in SolidWorks, and I'll show that later. And you can spend most of your time in SolidWorks, which is good. So you don't have to learn a new product or learn new toolbars or features. It's all inside SolidWorks, so it's the same look and feel as you have. And it can, inside SWIM, you can reserve CAD files, check them in, check them out, as you would in Teamcenter. And behind the scenes, it's all behind the scenes. It does all the Teamcenter stuff, SolidWorks integration, access and use to Teamcenter, and it does all the rules in Teamcenter. But that's all things, even as if you're using just in SolidWorks, it does it all in the background. You don't need to see it. And then over in Teamcenter, you can do the same thing. You can check in and check out, and then it's a lot of the who has that. You can control who has access to the part, and then organize the data. So if you have anything besides the CAD part, if you want to put your bill of materials in, or pricing, Excel documents, maybe pictures of the part, that all goes into Teamcenter and is not something you would do in SWIM. So here's what SWIM looks like, and so here's just your SolidWorks window. And on the right side, you can see a little, let me see if I can pull it up. You see right here, a little green globe, that's the Teamcenter icon. So if you click on that, this pulls up on the right side. So you can see it says open in SolidWorks, and then you have your part, and as it is in Teamcenter, and then you can go straight from there into SolidWorks. And here's a little close-up on when you pull up SWIM. Here's all the different buttons you can see. So new, open, save, all the same as any Microsoft product. Then save all. If you have multiple windows open in SolidWorks, it saves them all at the same time, so you don't have to go through each of them individually. Then that cancel, check in, check out, this little button right here, that is a way just to check in your part or check it back out, quick and easy. Then it'll go back to Teamcenter for you. Manager right here, that's a way to view what you currently have checked in and out. So if you brought a part out and forgot to check it back in, you can see there that you have to check it back into Teamcenter. And then change role right here, you can see basically if you're doing 2D design on one part and then three-dimensional design on another, you can have a different role in Teamcenter, so you can have different roles for each different part you have, as well as just the normal refresh, and then it tells you all the aspects that you see in Teamcenter right there. They can give you your type, your status, and then when you save in SolidWorks, it also gives you a Teamcenter item number, and that is another way that Teamcenter organizes everything for you. And this is a quick overview of SWIM, what it does. It manages everything from SolidWorks with Teamcenter, all your parts, assemblies, drawings, everything you need. And it links all the properties to and from Teamcenter, so all the data that goes with the part, it goes into SWIM and Teamcenter, as well as all your JT files, and if you convert a drawing or a 3D model to PDF, it will have that as well. So now we're into I'm going to show you a quick video of SWIM currently being used inside SolidWorks. So let me pull that up for you all. 1 second. And also what's great with SWIM, you know, as I'm saying, we are a Siemens reseller, so we don't currently have SolidWorks on our systems, but we do have access to videos, and when we release this webinar, we can also show this video as well for you. So you can see here, just you can do a new drawing straight in SolidWorks, and then you get just the basic SolidWorks screen. Instead of just saving it normally, as you would, you know, to your folder or anything, then you can save it to SWIM, which we will pull up soon in this video. There we go, logging into Teamcenter with SWIM. So it's all inside SolidWorks. It's all the same. That's what I think we're pretty big on. It all looks the same. It all feels the same. So you don't have to go out and learn anything new. It all has the same SolidWorks look and feel. So you can see there the different revisions you have, as well as the item name you call it, as well as SolidWorks gives your part its own item ID. You can go through and change them very quickly through this. And you see on the right side it shows the current part you have as well as all the associated parts with it. And again, if you don't know what your part is called, or it has a 5 in it and this item number, you can search with it quickly through Teamcenter integration with SolidWorks, and it pulls it up right there for you. It's just a quick click on the open button, and then it brings that up. You can search away, or you can just go through the folders as you would your C drive. It's pretty straightforward. And then all of this being connected so you can see it. Anyone in your company, if you give them the role and access, you're able to see it. So it's a little different than, let's say, on a server, because on a server, everyone would have free access to it, and it's kind of difficult. If I pull a part out, no one can see that I pulled the part, and then it gets a little tricky if there's different revisions in there, and it's just pretty difficult for revision control. Then with Teamcenter, that's all done automatically for you. You can see revision A, revision B, revision C. If I give it to one of my engineers and they put it back in, I can see who worked on it, what changes they made, all that through Teamcenter with SolidWorks. So here we can see just another revision of the part. You see it goes from 49 to 50, and all the data we need is in that as well. And then with that, does anyone have any questions? If you have any questions you want to ask either on the phone or not now, you can shoot us an email at info@dmhinternational.com, or give the office a call at 636-536-2803, so we can help you out there. We're pretty quick on that info response time, so if you have any questions, you can either raise your hand, or I think if we unmute some people, we'll get a little feedback. So.
And Tim, this is Jared. We do have one question from Paul again, and it is, you touched base on this a little bit already, but He said, please comment on the speed of using SolidWorks through Teamcenter with regard to opening, saving of new and revised data compared to saving to local drive or network drive directly from SolidWorks.
Okay, good question. I know it probably won't be as quick as just straight from your C drive. It's quicker than if you were to download it from, let's say, the internet or anything. So when you have Teamcenter pulled up, when it pulls up Teamcenter, I think it downloads a little bit of the parts when it gets in there, and then when you get it from there to your computer, it is slower than your C drive, but at least on our system, it's pretty quick just to go from Teamcenter to, we use NX here. If it's a very large file, like hundreds or thousands of parts, it'll take some time, but if it's just one part or a couple parts in an assembly, it goes pretty quick.
And
that's also something, if you want, I could do a demonstration for you, at least Teamcenter with NX. I know it's not the same as with SolidWorks. Maybe I could download a SolidWorks trial and show you, but I could at least show you it with NX.
And then Paul also had another question on the files that you were working with, Tim. Did they get placed directly into a project folder inside of Teamcenter?
That is correct. So with what they were using inside SolidWorks, that goes straight into Teamcenter. So the basis is you can use Teamcenter directly, but as a designer or an author of the part, if you don't want to, you can just do all that inside SolidWorks, and then that did make that folder into Teamcenter.
And then
people without SolidWorks can view and use.
Then it looks like the last question we have is how did you call up the project folders on that demo you just did?
I don't know if this is going to answer your question, David, but I know there was just an open tab, and then from there it pulled up the folders from Teamcenter. So I think if you want to you can either make the new folders there, or if you're inside Teamcenter, the actual program and not the integration, you can do a lot more changing the folders around and making it more organized. So you can do either way, but if you do it through Teamcenter itself, that's more the organizational and kind of outside the modeling stuff, and then once you want to just model it, then put it in Teamcenter and add a new folder. You can do all that in SolidWorks.
And do we have any other questions?
Again, sorry for the technical difficulties on the phone when we open it up. I know there's a lot of feedback. My ear's a little hurt from it, but that's okay. I appreciate the questions coming through the question bar being typed, and those were good questions. And again, if I didn't answer them or you have any other questions for us, feel free to email us at that email, and it will be forwarded to me, and I can take a look at that as well.
Okay, this will conclude our webinar for today. We appreciate everyone joining. And again, if anyone has any additional questions, please contact info@dmhinternational.com.
Thanks, everybody.